Hi guys, Tony
and Hartley
from Dad Built Down Under. Thought we'd do a New Year update video and let you know on a little bit of planning we've got for the next few months on the Corvette build. Now that we've got some repairs done at the Suburban and we've been away, it's full on with the Corvette at the moment. So yeah, let's get you up to date on where we're at and
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year, yeah, exactly. Righto, so you know that the Corvette progress has been sort of dictated by money for the last few years, but my youngest daughter Amelia said to me last year that she did a mic drop, boom, mic drop, and said, "Dad, I want a car for my formal, and you've only got 2 years to get it ready." And I said, "Well, let's use the Suburban. You can fit 7 of your mates in there and, you know, we'll be right, you know, just treat it like a bus." Because, I mean, look, it is big enough. But no.
Take a little vehicle.
Little miss, I don't want to be in the video. Turned around and said, "No, Dad, I want the Corvette." So this is where we're at.
It's fine.
So we're trying to fast track a few things at the moment. So last year I had ordered the front and rear bumpers for the Corvette from ACI Vette, the ACI fiberglass. They were shipped over to the port in New Jersey and they've just been sitting there waiting to ship out, waiting for the container to load. So that leaves the New Jersey port next week and heads for Brisbane. So they'll be here probably mid-March, which means we'll get to test fit them on the car. Also, I have in play, we've got onto Racetronics in Canada and organised some extra wiring around the bulkhead for the sender unit, and I'm going to upgrade the wiring for the fuel pump in the tank. Otherwise we're probably going to burn that wiring out. It's probably on the lighter side and the pump's a big 340 litre per minute job. Also going to upgrade the return line. It's only 5/16 and I'm going to fix it up and make it a 3/8 line, because that way it'll stop the build up pressure on the fuel line. Alright, so let's get over to underneath the car and we'll do a little bit of a snapshot on what we're doing on the exhaust at the moment. Finally got back to it after a big break, and obviously waiting to get the hoist fixed with the hydraulic ram last year. So now we can get under it, we can get onto it. So that's it.
You're recording.
Oh, we're recording. Leave the bloopers in there. They're just good. Alright, so we're onto the headers at the moment, and we're using the ICE Engine Works header fabrication blocks. Come around here, Millie, a bit more. So you can see I've got 2 cylinders marked up there at the moment, and this is all to fit in, so I can fit in. Can you get up in there? So I can get the spark plugs, I can get to the, so this is right hand drive Corvette, and the steering shaft comes down, so there's not a lot of room for header fabrication. And obviously engine mount just there. So these are all custom headers anyway because of the flange type, but this is why we're using this the green ICE Engine Works product to help 3D model how the pipes are going to look, and then we just go over and we cut the pieces of metal out. So you can see here I've got these flanges made up. These are individual flanges I had made up. There's an engineer down in South Australia who made these up. So he's done these in 1 7/8 for me, and also 3 inch. It'll make it so that the exhaust system is modularized. It's in sections, so that we can undo all the bolts on this and drop this piece down. Just pan out a little bit, mate. There's another one over the back there. You can't see the bolts because they come in from the other way, but it means that I can take this whole section out, this whole bottom section out, and obviously get to this here, that header, that starter motor bolt. So once I drop the exhaust, the lower section of the exhaust down, I can get to starter motor, spark plugs if I need to, oil filter, and that kind of thing. So there's a reason why. Now we've got, I was going to run a MagnaFlow, I think it's 12469. It's a twin 3-inch in, twin 3-inch out muffler resonator. Sort of acted like an X-pipe, but the trouble is, after putting it in there and mocking it up, it's gonna sit too low, and by the time more weight comes on the car, I'm probably gonna be hitting the 100mm 4-inch limit, which means that if it sits too low, they're gonna ping me and I'll get fined and the car will get defected and I won't be able to drive it on the road. So so I'm opting to take that out. So I'm going to show you, I'll show you that one in a minute. We'll go over to the other part of the shed and I'll show you where that was going to go. But sorry, what that one is. Where it was going to go was in here. So I was going to sit in here, but it's going to sit too low. So it actually sits about here. So if you were sitting under the, like if you ran the 100mm under the car, it would actually sit a bit too low. It would be too low for here. The only tight point here is underneath the diff. There'll be twin 3-inch pipes here, which they do fit, and there's about 130mm from the bottom of those to ground, to road. So we should be right with that. And then, so what I'm going to do now is we've got an X pipe coming in for just behind Amelia there. So you can see where the 2 3-inch comes out, there's going to be an X pipe in here to help with the scavenging. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run twin 3-inch, really twin 3-inch along here, right up to under here, and then out to the back we're going to run 2 MagnaFlow mufflers. They're 12 1/9/8, single 3-inch in out, in, and the 2.5-inch tips on either side, but I've got a couple of nice little flared out tips to go on there. So as I said, new bumpers coming. They'll be here mid-March, so I'm looking forward to those and getting those on and testing those out. And we've got some fuel tank modifications coming up very, very shortly. Let's go over and I'll show you where we're up to with all of our spare parts. Righto, spare parts. Well, not spare parts. These are all the old parts, and I don't throw any of the old parts away, even if I'm going to replace them. I'll wait until the new part comes in, check fitment against the old one. So the issue with our Corvette is it's had a right-hand drive conversion, so I was a little bit concerned, and that we were going to have to put in a custom carpet kit. But that's not the case. We've got the carpet underneath the seats there and laid it all out, and it's a factory set. So that means that I can order a left-hand drive set from the US and it's going to fit no problem. There was a little bit of tweaking around one of the mats, but that takes a lot out of it, because if custom matting and that here in Australia is quite expensive. We are going to get new seat foam for these seats over here, and the seats themselves are cloth interior. So our Corvette is one of 14 cars with two-tone blue, manual transmission and cloth interior seats. So that makes it one of 14 potential vehicles in that year, in '84, that came with that. So it makes it on the rarer side. Does it make it any more valuable? No, it just makes it a pain in the ass to buy parts for. Right, so we can't get this fabricated, we can't get this duplicated, but we might be able to get something close. That's what I'm sort of thinking. But definitely new foam, new carpet coming. We've got all these bits here, that's the roof and the doors, they're all in primer, they're ready to go. This pole over here we've got is all the pole that's wrecked, got cracks and broken. All the bumper belts are in there. Got bumper belts coming from Mid-America at the moment, so they're having trouble fulfilling that order. We've got new door cards coming. So these have got a few cracks on that in them, so we're going to pretty it all up. New cards coming. new trim, new storage trim. So with this storage trim, I've actually duplicated all these stickers. I took the stickers in here into a local place in Brisbane, and he copied them for me, including the build sheet one here, so, which is the Corvette's pedigree. So that tells you all the codes that the original owners ordered on the car. Now we've just got parts here ready to go. We've still got a brand new rubber kit here and a whole heap of other bits and pieces. Updated regulators, window regulators. These are for the later model cars, like the 86s and above. Ours 84 had the original plastic chain ones. While they're okay, they're slow. So these are an upgrade. You just drill another hole in the bottom of the door and they fit in. So we'll go through that later on. So all the seat tracks, everything ready to go. It's just a matter of putting it all back together, but we need to get some new parts on the road, and I'm trying to negotiate with the Corvette mobs, Corvette Central, Mid-America, Zip Corvette, and Eckler's, which are the dearest, to see if we can organise some cheaper parts and get some sort of bulk discount or some sort of restorer's discount. Another little sidetrack project we're doing at the moment is the one that Hartley's leaning on over there, holding himself up. Tell everyone what it is, Hartley.
It's a quad. Well, I don't. What
It's a 110.
110 quad. We've got this welded. Really. We've got this part welded. So because it wouldn't. It was like there.
Everybody should have.
Okay. It doesn't. But anyway. So it was facing a different angle, like it was like over here, and we have to face it over here because it wouldn't fit in this area.
Yeah, we're rednecking it, hey.
So we cut it off. Dad cut it off about here, and a guy welded up for us. So we put it this way and then put it on.
Yeah,
all we've got is just to do the rest.
Yeah, so we've got to change some sprockets. We're going to rebuild all this and clean it all
and
up.
This is the
old carby. Yeah, brother-in-law.
My brother-in-law is going to, well, he said some things that can help us because we don't know how to get this part onto.
Yeah, I'm not a motorbike guy.
On this part to this part, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so we've had to hang this intake and carby out to the side because having it under here, it wouldn't fit. It would have just hit the steering, and because we've put this bigger motor in this frame, it would just we have to modify
and
it.
we have parts there.
Oh
we
yeah, that's
have
the rear
back,
axle. So
the exhaust thing for that. Then we have seat, brand new chain, spark plugs, a new chain that don't think fits. We have that, and we have all these old parts.
yeah,
from
so
it.
again.
And then there's the body cover it up there.
Oh yeah, so the webbed black cover
Which I'm gonna
is the cover.
I'm gonna maybe paint it.
It's hard to get paint to stick to plastic, mate, but
I'm not a professional, but let's have a go.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
Wow.
So that's what we're up to. So I've got two headers in here that we've mocked up in the green tool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, we're gonna do these two. I've mocked these up and they're gonna be a fantastic fit. So they'll come straight up in there. So what I'll do is I've taped these to lock them in because the ice engine tool, what it does is you can fabricate and you can twist it any old way. So if you were starting with that's a bad example. So if you were starting with, so say it was half a mandrel bend, say it that, but you wanted it to do a certain thing, just with the pie and the way that it orientates, you could twist this around and make it do whatever the hell you want. But that means that you'll be cutting wherever, there'll be a cut there, this piece is there. So there's two pies here, these would stay together. You would cut there, 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 and there if that's the shape that you needed. So what I've done here is because they move around, I've just taped them up so it holds them in place. So what I'll do is I'll take this off now, take it over, and then what we'll do is we'll duplicate this but in steel. So I've already got these started up, so what we'll do is we'll orientate the tubing based on what we want it to do. Like if we want it to go, so you can see that I've marked the orientation of these, the reference points. But if we wanted the tube not to mimic a mandrel bend, which is basically that, we wanted it to do something different, we could just go like that and it would do that and just tack it. So that's what we're going to do now. Probably do that off camera, but it's basically taking that plastic 3D mock-up now and making what the part that we need out of what we've got here. So and I've referenced the green sections over there. So I've got 2 pipes there to do. So the next take that we do after this one is going to be both those 2 pipes in steel, tacked up and sitting there on that collector. And then what we'll do is we'll do the bottom 2, and then I can jump over to the other side, the other header, and do it as well. What's that?
Those go on the Corvette too, right? The blue
Yeah,
ones?
these ones here, these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. So I've had to take these off the twin 3-inch because we're not using that big exhaust. Oh, which is over next door. I was going to show you guys that. So there's the mufflers up here. 12198. So I've got 2 of those, and then they're the tips, 3225. So I've got 4 of those tips. Believe it or not, those 4 tips, those 4 boxes, cost more than these 2 mufflers. So work that out. Anyway, we'll go and show you the resonator I was going to use but can't use, which is a bit of a pain because it would have done the job of an X pipe, because inside it does that. So twin 3-inch in and out, and inside, can you see?
Dirty.
No, yeah, that's it.
Like Wally.
Yeah, you can see
Wally.
inside it.
The movie. You know?
Wally.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What inside?
Yeah, inside it's see-through,
no.
and it goes into one singular pipe inside and then out to 2. So it would have been the perfect like addition to the exhaust system. But the trouble is it's too wide that way, which puts it, I can't get it up into the cavity, the driveline cavity, far enough, and it will stick down. So it doesn't fit.
So Dad, the parts in front of you,
The who?
are those the parts that came off it, or are they just random parts?
Which ones?
Them parts.
Yeah, this is all the aircon stuff off the Corvette when it had the old L83 in it.
You're gonna put it back on? But new ones?
Well, it'll be all new, and it's going to probably be redesigned a little bit, the aircon. So I'm going to have to try and make sure we've got aircon, because formal for Amelia in 2027 will be probably in November, and it's probably going to be hot, because that's what it is in this country. It's really, really warm. So that's what I've got to make sure, that the aircon's working, and that'll probably cost thousands of dollars over budget.
That's why you're gonna win the lotto.
Oh, I can't even win an argument, mate. I know what you were going on about. So anyway, I'll get fabricating on this steel pieces now, and the next shot I'll show you what we're doing there. But big plans with the Corvette this year. Going to try and move a lot of it along very, very quickly, which means more money spent to get parts, because the biggest thing for us is lead time. It takes longer to get parts here to organise that kind of stuff. Like, even I'm working with Mid-America at the moment, and even the bumper belts, which are the belts that run along the centre of the door, and here and here, the bumper belts. I'm getting a new bumper belt kit for it, and now I ordered that. It would have been late October, but Mid-America's having problems with their supplier of those, and the suppliers are aka made in Taiwan or China or something, right? So the full kit for that is a 13-piece kit. It's quite expensive, and I've put the order in. I touched base with them today, and they're going to put the order together for me, but it won't be the kit that they're promised from their supplier. It'll be it'll be a put together kit. So the everything that I need for 1984, that's what it'll be. So and then they're going to ship that out. So they're going to make sure that I've got that, which means that when the bumpers get here from the US, I should be able to put those bumper belts on, make sure they're in the right spot, and then put them away until we get all the paint sorted on the car. So.
Also, Dad, you know the things that are broken on the floor? Is that what that piece goes there for?
So, oh yes, so the covers that are sit here, yes they are, Hartley. They're these ones over there. These are quite expensive in the US. I can't believe how dear they are. They're $350 US. And it doesn't matter which supplier you go to. So there's a cover, and obviously the previous owners put in there no step because it shouldn't really be standing on there, and obviously someone has, and it's cracked it and it's buggered it, so that's busted. These are all the bumper belts. So the reason I'm not reusing those and they're off the car is so that's these ones are for the door because they clip into the door, but there's a couple of them here where I've had to cut the bolt, so because they've rusted on, so they're not going back on. We'll just get a new set for it. So
would those parts, like with this thing here, would that fit on the C8? Would it?
no, it's a different car. Totally different car. Righto, that's where we're at. So I'll next take, as I said, I'll have all these mocked up in steel, and we'll show you the outcome. Righto, so kids are going down for a swim. So I thought I'd give you an update on one of the tubes. So here we go. Here we got, don't mind the rough tack. I mean, I just sort of spat at it. Yep, done. So this is the piece here. Where do I put that darn thing? I don't know, this is it. So that's the piece in Ice Engine Works green, the green tubing, and there's the piece there, fabricated, well, mocked up, not fabricated, sitting there. So I'm doing one at a time because obviously this section here moves around, so now that that's sort of fixed in place, it makes it easier to put this next one in. So the next one will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight pieces, then a 2.5 inch CLR reference that way, reference there. These are two together, so I'm going to cut here and here instead of doing it like it'll be a double pie instead of a single pie. That's a single pie, and this is a single pie here, but it's going into, no, that's a single pie. That pie there is hooked up to these two straights, so I can grab that from the mandrel bend no problem. So I'll the only trouble is the legs on the mandrels that I've got won't do this 5 inches. I think they're 4.5 or something like that. They're not quite 5 inches, so I'll have to put another inch piece in. I've got plenty of tube there, plenty of offcut, so I'll top that up. So it's just a matter of doing that, and then that sits in there. Then I'll tack that one in once I get it made up out of steel, and then it's the next two, which is this one here, and then I've got to bring that one there, which I'm using as the ground, down and hook it up into here. So yeah, so we're getting there anyway. So a little bit of dicking around there. I don't think I put the reference marks in it, and they move really easily, so you got to watch that. But this transition's right, there's no lips there, it's fairly good. So yeah, anyway, quick update. I'll give you an update when we've got this one here done. I'm trying to get it done this afternoon before the wife gets home, She wants me to go and pick up some bar stools or something, so I'll be doing a bit of a run, so that'll probably see me out today, and then I'll pick it back up on Sunday. I'll just continue on Sunday. Saturday I've got to do the diff oil change in the Suburban. It's we've done 500 miles, so it's ready to go. So I'm just going to drop in 2 limb sips, because this does 2 litres, but there's just over 2 litres in there, so better to overkill it. So I'm going to put 2 in there, and then the gear oil, just a normal gear oil. No synthetic in that Yukon one, but they don't like it. Anyway, see you on the next take. Righto, Sunday morning. Oh, it's actually nearly Sunday lunchtime. Skipped the day yesterday, was doing poppy daycare with my youngest granddaughter. Man, what a hoot the grandkids are. She was just kept me going all day, mate. I was buggered by the end of the day. I actually worked harder looking after her than what I did when I work in the car and work in the shed on the cars. Hey, I've been trying to dick around holding 45 bits of mandrel bend today, all different pies, and trying to use magnets and trying to use tape and trying to use bits and pieces so I could just tack them up with the MIG. And I bought some Ice Engine Works welding clamps when I bought the 2 kits. I bought a 3-inch pipe kit, and I bought a 1 7/8 kit to do these headers, and I also bought the clamps to go with it. I had a go at using the clamps once before, and I wasn't happy with what I was with the way that they were working. But I've since found out today that it was just me. It wasn't the clamps. And I've decided to use them today because I went up to the hardware this morning and got a couple of clamps. That didn't work. Tried magnets again, tried tape again, and it just, nothing was making any sense, or nothing was helping me hold all of those bits of mandrel. So now I'll show you what I've got with the Ice Engine Works clamps. So there you go. Looks like a Edward Scissorhand type thing, but the clamps are holding that joint together, so I can tack it there. They're holding that one there, so I can tack it on this side. This is a 2 pie piece. I can tack it there, and then tack it under there, and then tack it over here. Don't mind the gap. I can fill that full of shit later on. Tack it, and it'll be done. So the Ice Engine Works header tools, the clamps that come with those. There's a 4-pack of tack welding clamps. That's what they are. So these are the 1 7/8 ones. That one. I do have a 3-inch set as well. But yeah, they seem to work. Once I got around how they worked, and I sort of started up here, fixed this point here so that it wouldn't move. The biggest thing here is movement. Everything was moving, and it was hard to try and work out what size I needed because the shit's moving, right? So because this is fixed up here, I just went from here and just kept fixing it all the way through, and then tightening all these up. These are a little 5/16, I think they are. 5/16, yeah, 5/16. So I do it that. And then, yeah, so I'm ready to tack that up. So I'm going to tack it up, and then the trouble is I can't get these clamps off. I'm going to have to fully undo them, which is where these nuts come undone, and you have to take both sides of the clamp off because they don't just slide off. And that's why I was reluctant to use them before. I didn't want to use them because I thought, oh, I can't get the bloody things off. So you can see where that's going to go there. It's got the 2 there, and it's sitting up a little bit. It's going into the collector quite well. I'm happy with it anyway. It's going to look good once it's all fully welded. And then we go into 3-inch down here. 3-inch in there. Got to do this side yet, but I'm not focusing on this side today. I'm going to tack this one up, and that way this is in place, and then use this one to orientate where this needs to be. I've got an X pipe coming, as I said earlier on in the video, and that'll help dictate where this one ends up. So I'm not going to do too much for that today, but this is definitely going to get tacked right now, and then I'll bring you back for the last take and show you how it's all tacked up, and it, you know, looks good. Well, it doesn't look that good. It looks shit because it's not welded, but once it gets all welded and it's all pretty and then it's all ceramic coated, there'll be a bit of a pull your dick moment, right? Okay, but until that happens, it's going to look like shit, but bear with me. I'll see you on the next take. Righto peeps, last take. Alright, so you can see I've still got 2 more to go here. Now don't worry about that, because there's a flange right up near the plugs, and that's where you undo that from. You actually undo that one from the top, and then these 3 down here you undo from the bottom, and then the top part of the header stays on the side of the head, and the bottom half I can remove. So that's the thought around that. Now, yeah, I probably could have got a flange, like a collector here with a flange on it, that would have done 4. The trouble is it was too tight to try and orientate the pipe work in there and clearance all the spark plugs. So you can see the spark plugs all the way up there. So these individual ones do that, and all I got to do is just come up from the bottom with an Allen key and undo all the bolts, and the bottom part comes out. So you can see that the starter motor bolt is going to be an issue with this header, but that's why this is here. I can undo this, undo that clamp just there. There's a clamp just there, and once it's undone, the bottom section just comes out and I can get to it. So I've sort of done it a little bit so that I can move around in here, because as you know, Corvettes don't have the best real estate. So and being right hand drive, that just makes it an even bigger shit show. So don't mind the tacks. I mean, this is a gasless wire that I'm using at the moment just to tack this shit up. There's a bit of a gap here, but we're going to get those sorted out. So what'll happen is, once I've got these sort of mocked up and tacked where I want them, I'll come along and I'll undo these tacks here, take each individual pipe out, and then go through and weld each individual one up, and then place it back in there once it's orientated. So once all that's done, then the collector will go back on, and the cover for the collector will go back on. There'll be a little, you know, thing inside to seal it all up, and then the O2 sensors sitting up there, that's going to come down into here and sit there. So there's a whole heap of welding in front of this to go. This is just where we're at the moment. So I mean, the journey of 1,000 miles has started with a single step, and this is the first step. So and I don't have the luxury of just ringing up any of the mobs in the US and going, hey, send me out a set of right hand drive headers for my C4 Corvette, because they'll just go, mate, you're on crack, we're not doing that. That's nothing that fits. And steering rack up there, or steering shaft up there, is one of the biggest reasons, and obviously orientation with spark plugs and that kind of thing. So and they didn't move these things over, so the engine's still sitting in the factory location, which means that with the Corvette it's sitting off to the right hand side a little bit. So anyway, we're getting there slowly but surely. So that's 2 out of 4 on this side, and this will be the master one, which I'll then try and mirror this side off. I'm not in a great big hurry at the moment to start this one until this one's right, and as I said, I can't keep going until I've got the X pipe down there and see what that's going to look like. And I also want to keep in this little equation, because this is all rigid, obviously it's going to move with the engine. There's, I can still get my hand up in there, see, there's bloody heaps of room really. There's more room there in between that flange than what I've got on parts of the Suburban exhaust, trust me. So, and if anything, I think it's going to twist that way, I think. Yeah, it's that way or that way, I don't know, I can't remember. Too much welding fumes. So have a look over here, we've got these flexi joints in the 3-inch pipe. So you can see that they help move it. So I'm going to incorporate those into the main pipes and hopefully do that before the X pipe. So I've just got to wait for the X pipe to arrive. Oh, these are for the Suburban. I'm going to put a set of those in the Suburban. That's a pain in the ass for exhaust. It keeps breaking and carrying on because it's long and old. So these are 2 2.25 inch, I think. They'll go on later on, but these are 3 inch, all 3 inch pipe. So you can see all the orientation here of the ICE Engine Works bits. I'll show you the bits in a minute, but this is a fabricated bit based on that. So that's a straight bit and a couple of pies, and like this. So you're probably thinking, oh, that's 3 inch bloody electrical cable. No, it's not. So there's a piece there, small inch piece there, and then there's a whole heap of, this is a 4 inch centerline radius mandrel bend, and these are all the pies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 pieces of pie there, but because they're all orientated, it just does that little loop. So it's a great tool, but in Australia it's expensive. You can see the bag there full of the 3 inch stuff. So yeah, and you just buy the mandrel bends to suit. Another thing I found that was hard to do here in Australia was actually get the mandrel bends in that centerline radius. The 2 inch ones for 1 and 7/8, I had to get them in from the US. There's no one here that bends them at that radius. I could get 2.5 inch though from a couple of the mobs online. Here in Australia, they bend them up at 2.5 inch centerline radius. But the 2 inch I couldn't get. Had to get that from overseas, and the 4 inch I can get here. So that was good. Yeah, so actually getting the mandrels was a bit of a pain. So, but me on a computer, it's probably not a bad thing. So you can see where that's going. There's that flange. So the guy that made those flanges, I think he was trying to get them, trying to sell them to hooker headers in Australia, and trying to get them to take them on and sell the idea. What's his name? Oh, Big Eddie's name. Oh, it's here on this box, isn't it? Here we go. So that's why I've kept this box. There's nothing in the box, but there is his details on it. So his name is Bob Sudik, and he's in Tarlee in South Australia. Now he's an engineer down there, so I think it's Tarlee Engineering, T-A-R-L-E-E. Nice bloke. He fabricated up the 3 inch and the 1 and 7/8 ones for me, and obviously, yeah, did a really good job. Those flanges, they're really good. I mean, they're in mild steel. He does them in stainless as well. I mean, that's why these are painted. He didn't paint them. These are all raw when they came, but sitting here for the last couple of years, they've started to rust up a little bit, being mild steel and being the fact that they're not coated in any way. I don't know if you can see that, but they'll come up with a sandblaster anyway, so I'll sandblast them before I send them over to be you know, ceramic coated. So that's where we're at the moment. It's starting to look alright. Yeah, so it's trying to get those flex joints in here, and I might have to take this piece off. It's only got a tack inside there. Take this piece off and get it so that it's not so much of an angle this way. So it's like it's sitting there like that. If I take it back a little bit, I'll be able to probably get those pieces in before the X pipe and put the X pipe around here somewhere. I think it was only 200 mil at its widest point, so that means with the pies coming off the ICE Engine Works stuff, these pies here, I'll be able to twist that around so it meets and you won't even see it. It'll look like it was supposed to be there. Anyway guys, that's the end of our new year, new me video. Kids were involved at the first part. I said, come up and help me do a new year video. It's a bit of our plans for the next 12 months. Hopefully they'll come up, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm trying to get him up here, I'm trying to get the little fella up here, but at the moment he's a big gamer. So that's just the way it is. And Millie doesn't want to be on camera, but she'll come up, and definitely she said to me, Dad, I want to come up and help sand the car once you get to that stage. So yeah, so I mean, like, subscribe, comment, share your feedback, share the videos, do whatever. I've got no issues with any of that. Next couple of videos are probably going to be around this exhaust and trying to tack it all up and get it ready. Then I've got to try and organise to get it welded or weld it myself. My welds aren't that pretty. I mean, I can tack a few things and try and do bits and pieces, but it's probably a good time to learn, or have to fork in the old Skyrocket for a bit more cash and get someone else to help me out with it. But once it's all welded up and it looks really, really nice, it's off to ceramic coating. But yeah, we're not even there yet, but I'll keep you posted on along the way with our exhaust and how it's sort of moving along, and we'll go from there. Anyway, peace out guys, see you on the next one.